back on Born B464, and we have to invite Ed Linz back because we've only got a little time, and we want to talk about, even though we'd love to talk more about the Appalachian Trail and your wonderful donor, and that's Monica.
Yes, Monica.
If you could just talk about that for a minute, and then we're going to talk about your book.
All right. Well, I'm here with you today because of Monica. I had that terrible disease. I was this close to death, and she was in perfect health. She worked for the State Department as an election overseer. She would go around the world watching elections to see if they were, quote, democratic. She went to bed in perfect health, had a brain aneurysm.
Wow.
Never woke up. In September of 1994, I was the just wonderfully fortunate beneficiary of receiving her heart.
And do you know her family today?
I do. We've met their family. We have dinner with them a couple times a year. I'm going to see her mother, Maria Christina, in just 2 weeks, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Wonderful family, very difficult, obviously, for them. But I wanted to stress to your viewers that it is so terribly important to recognize how much organ donation can affect so many people's lives. Monica, because of her family's generosity, was able to save the lives of at least 6 other people.
That's wonderful.
Because of her kidneys, which went to 2 separate people. I've met one of the kidney recipients, as a matter of fact.
Wow.
Her liver, her lungs, and gosh knows how many other people benefited from other parts of her corneas, her skin, and everything. And she still had a regular, full, open casket funeral. So it's a wonderful thing for people to do.
Yeah, and I've given my organs.
Right. Well, I'm just saying, it's just the most altruistic and wonderful gift that a person can give, and I'm forever grateful. But I wanted to assure, what I really wanted to do today was to assure everyone who watches your show that there not only is all this full, vibrant life available, but there used to be a commercial for one of the beers, then the tagline was to grab for the gusto. And that's sort of my motto for life, Kathryn, in that I do not, when I wake up in the morning, I just want to use every precious minute that I have to the fullest. And I'm fortunate that I'm blessed with a partner, my wife, Sharon, who subscribes to the same philosophy. Neither one of us sit around all day feeling sorry for ourselves or just sitting around. We're doing things. My wife, who's just turned 70, she is a retired nurse who is working today.
She's working pretty full time, doesn't she?
She does. During this time of year in particular, she gives flu shots at flu clinics, and she also does health fairs. And we just bought a new Nissan Leaf, an electric car.
I heard about that.
And it's fabulous. I'll have to tell you about that sometime. But in other words, we are continuing to do what I think are exciting and hopefully useful things.
And you know, the amazing thing is that everybody laughs at me when I say I'm going to live to 150, but I don't feel my age.
And you don't look it.
And I don't look it, and I am very blessed by God, who has really changed my life in the way I think about life today. And I think that's the attitude that you have to have. Our generation is so different.
Very different.
Than our parents' generation. And my mom is the last of the Linzes,
yes.
Right? She's
of that
92.
Generation.
Of that generation, she's 92 and still kicking. And, you know, and we keep her active.
Right.
Or she would be gone by now. And I think that's important.
I think we've benefited also from science technology moves along. And obviously my operation was only possible due to things which happened during the 60s, which were perfected during the 70s and 80s.
That's right.
And each of us now are probably able to take some medication each day to cure this or that ailment. But also we're smarter. There's so many less of us who are smoking now. My father passed away at my age right now due to emphysema.
Right.
because he had been a smoker all of his life. So I think we're really blessed. I'm very excited about what I'm doing now in terms of my writing career, which might be my third or fourth career. I've lost count. This book that I did, this novel, Hurdling.
Tell me a little bit about it.
Well, Hurdling to the Edge is exciting. It's almost all female characters. It's a bit racy, but nothing that most of your viewers over 21 can handle.
Right.
It's about a 53-year-old woman. She loses her husband in a car accident. Didn't like him particularly. Moved to Carolina, meets a fellow on the internet, and decides on a whim to, in spite of the advice of all of her good friends, one who is a Lutheran pastor, somewhat profane, to take a road trip with this fella, knowing that he's in his late 20s. Stuff happens. But it's very interesting. The subtitle is, it's a thriller involving physics, religion, drugs, and sex.
Wow.
The 4 basic food groups.
Wow. Wow.
And it's available on Amazon, ebook.
Ebook.
Set you back $3.99.
Wow, that's a lot.
So,
Yeah,
you know,
right.
I can loan money to people now.
Yeah, you
know,
can.
If they need it.
Well, you know what's really amazing is that we just recently, Ed, are starting a new program.
What's that?
And it's called Sports for You Too. We have a radio show called Sports for You Too Club, which my son, who is a journalist, so on part-time because he works a regular job, and then he's doing radio, and he's writing as a journalist again
Right.
in sports. And the whole idea of Sports for You Too is kind of combined with Born Before 64 when you think about it. We've all wanted to do something that was almost impossible for us.
Right.
And I mean, you just did something.
I've done some things.
Some things.
I've done some things, and I'm going to do some more.
More. So, you know, maybe we could even have you do Sports for You Too, the first show.
Well, I am a coach. My email is coachlinz@cox.net.
Right.
I mean,
right.
you know, so...
So, what's something that you've always wanted to do sports-wise that you've never done before?
I think it's X-rated. I can't tell you.
Oh, sorry about that. I mean, can you?
No,
think of
I mean,
something?
my wife and I are big kayakers, and I would like very much to go on an extended kayaking trip where we take our tents and camp overnight.
Wow. Well, you know, we've run out of time, Ed. Can you believe that? So I'm going to invite you back.
Well, thank you, Kathryn.
Because I think you have so much more to tell. And, you know, I know that you have so much life left in you, and there's so many things that you want to do. And I can't thank you enough for coming today to be on our show and sharing your story. And we want to have your friends on.
Yes, they're equally fascinating people.
And I think that that's the most important part of Born Before 64, is that our generation really wants to live a really full life, and we've come to the end of our show now.
Well, thank you very much for having me.
And give your website out one more time.
www.eyesright.us.
And buy your book on Amazon.
Amazon.
Right?
Just Google Ed Linz.
Right. And please check us out at bornb464.com. We'll see you next time on Born Before 64.
Thank you for joining us on Born Before 64 with Kathryn Raaker. For more information on our show, check out our website at www.bornbefore64.com.